Hello guys, my name is Mike Brown. This is my Module 4 presentation for collaborating online, and the topic that I chose to do mine on was Skype. For those of you unaware, Skype is a program that allows users to communicate with video, text, or voice chat. You can have up to 25 different users communicating at one time, which is pretty awesome. The program is pretty easy to use, and it's available on all major platforms, including Windows and Apple computers, as well as Android and Apple products. You can even get it for your Kindle Alexa devices as well, if you're so inclined. As far as where do you find it, it is under the Microsoft Corporation umbrella. As far as that goes, that means you can download it from their website directly, or you can go to the Microsoft Store and purchase it there. That's essentially where the Skype's page takes you anyway, or the applicable App Store on whatever smart device that you're aiming to download it on. As far as setting up Skype, the process is pretty easy. First, you just need a personal email. The system won't allow you to have a corporate or school email address. And the reason I did a little research is because Microsoft wants to make sure this is an account that goes with you. That way, if you're terminated from your employment or you ever end your schooling process, or maybe it's a high school student or something like that, the account goes with you. It's not linked to that establishment. Um, you also need to provide your name and your birth date, and then you're ready to go. The cost of Skype is one of my favorite prices, which is free. The free version allows for voice chat, text chat, video conferencing, and file sharing. The file sharing has a limit of 300 megabytes, but I think of that as just a little bit of a icing on the cake as far as the other features, because you're really using it for the chat feature that it provides. There is a paid version that the prices scale depending on who or what regions you're trying to contact, but that allows you to contact cell phones by calling them and texting cell phones that are not registered in the Skype program. But for the functionality that we would need it for within the classroom, for the most part, you're probably okay with the free version. As far as connecting it to the collaborative outcomes on Rice page 109 and 110, the chart, I can see how Skype could have a huge influence in the classroom based on the collaborative outcomes that were listed there. It had it under the brainstorming, outreach, and authentic learning experiences, problem solving, and demonstrating mastery headings. Now, I'll be looking at these through a science bias. So, as far as brainstorming goes, labs or other content area, bringing together this information and generating a hypothesis for a lab that you're going to perform or something like that would be a great, influence here. Meeting professionals in the field or other classrooms, having that authentic learning experience, having an outreach to somebody that is, in the real world doing what we're talking about and being able to contact them and have communication with them. Problem solving, generating hypothesis or having discussion based around certain content that you're dealing with. Having the kids kind of come up with that would be great. And then being a moderator in that. Same with demonstrating mastery, kid led presentations or discussions, and then the teacher acting as a moderator during those processes. As far as the synchronous aspects, this is really kind of where the program shines. You have quite a few different uses here. These were a couple that I came up with based on the Rice content. Think, pair, share. You could break the classroom into groups and have discussions about certain aspects of your content or whatever it is you're talking about, even reviewing for a test. That would be great. Classroom to classroom sharing, so establishing connections with other classrooms across the community and generating, that large community feeling that where you have connections that you can pull from and possibly learn other perspectives. Expert and guest speakers, contacting outside authorities on content topics. Talking to a scientist, talking to a researcher, or some professional that's connected with the topic, the content that you're covering in class. Consensus building, so coming together as a group on, a discussion. This could be for results, and analyzing, a lab setup or something like that, as far as that goes, and looking at those materials and generating a consensus on that content. Debate. This happens sometimes in science classes. My content specifically being chemistry and physics. There's not a ton of debate, as it's pretty hard and fast facts. But there, every once in a while, you get into topics that kids want to interject their feelings on. So this would be a great way to do that and make sure everybody had their voice. And then student-led discussions, having students take ownership of different parts of lessons or different topics and act as, a student leader, and the teacher could act as the moderator in that situation, and letting the students take over there would be great. As far as asynchronous aspects, the limitations of live video feed are the fact that it needs to be live. So in Skype's case, you're kind of limited in that aspect. The only thing you could really do is record the video and then upload it to, say, YouTube or something like that for um, viewing after the fact, possibly as a repository or something like that for a student that was absent. Other than that, there's not much of an asynchronous usage for Skype. Looking at the social presence model from the article, it kind of fit really well with Skype. I think all the needs were met there. Effective association, where it said getting to know each other as peers and educators. You could do this by a simple getting to know you activity, but also just having a voice and possibly a face if the students are willing to share, allowing you to communicate a little bit better. It's amazing how much information is passed through nonverbal communication. So seeing somebody's face is kind of paramount to having that better understanding. Community cohesion. This would allow the students to see the teacher as an active participant in discussions, but also as a listener, especially if there's student-led discussions. Interaction intensity. During synchronous meeting times, each student would have their own voice in this case because they'd all have their own time, as long as everybody took an equal share of allowing the discussion points to be, divvied out. Knowledge and experience. Student and teacher can bring information they already have to the classroom in a discussion setting, especially in science or a content-heavy topic. Um, Kids and anybody involved is going to bring a tremendous amount of prior knowledge in, right or wrong. This would definitely allow them to share it. And that can lead to furthering the communication between the individuals. Instructor involvement. The educator could be the voice that leads the discussion, but adds their input and ultimately makes sure that the topic stays on topic, or the discussion stays on topic. As far as using this in my content area, if we're talking about this in a online classroom, allowing students to interject their opinions, content, positive discussions, and like I said earlier, the hot topic discussion points would be awesome here. You could also generate a hypothesis for the class, and as far as extrapolating results and kind of looking at what you came up with from your experiments. You could also bring in real world scientists and talk to them about their chosen professions. As far as in my classroom now, which is a brick and mortar, you could really use this for the communication aspect, and bringing in outside researchers into the classroom, or taking essentially visits to areas that you normally wouldn't get to see. Um, all right, I think that covers what I got, and I'm running out of time, so thank you very much for listening. Till next time.